Is that all you got?
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. There's a new Invincible Season 3 trailer with a bunch of new footage, and episodes are starting soon, so we'll break it all down. We're about to get back to peak animation, so I'll be doing videos for all the episodes just like I did for previous seasons. Be sure to subscribe to get everything if you're brand new to the channel. Robert Kirkman even said they plan to do the entire run of the comics eventually through successive seasons, like however many seasons it takes them to do. Now all he needs to do is tell us where seasons 4, 5, and 6 are. Based on the next couple of storylines that they're covering during Season 3, I think most people who were down on Season 2 and felt like it wasn't as good as Season 1 will come back around on the show, like they're finally getting to some of the interesting stuff. The funny thing right now too, some of you probably realize this, is that Invincible is meant to be a parody of a lot of the Superman comics and his whole mythos, the whole concept of the Kryptonians versus the Viltrumites, Superman as opposed to Omni-Man's true purpose on Earth, like a big twist on the Superman origin story. In this equation, Invincible would be a little bit more like John Kent's Superboy, because he's the son of a Viltrumite and a human, like a half-breed, just like John Kent is Superman and Lois Lane's son. Now we have the brand new Superman movie with David Cornswet running concurrently with Invincible seasons. It's a little bit like having The Boys run while you're watching all the Marvel stuff too, because The Boys parodies a lot of Marvel and DC at the same time. Just starting at the beginning of the new footage here, this is Invincible versus a character that's just called Giant from the comics. We saw him at the beginning of Season 2 when the Guardians of the Globe were fighting him. They don't really explain too much about his origin story in the comics. Originally, he was meant to be an 8-year-old boy who fell through a portal with his grandmother and was given these powers with sorcery. An evil wizard turned him into this big giant and tried to use him against his enemies in that other realm. Then eventually he got banished back to Earth, but he was stuck in his giant form, but he was still basically this little kid, like he had the mind of a little kid in this giant body. So the big difference now is the last time they fought him, it was just the Guardians of the Globe trying to take him down, and they were trying to show you how they were working poorly as a team, like their cohesion was terrible. This time Invincible is fighting him, and he's gotten way more powerful from his training since the end of Season 2, which is why it seems like he thrashes the hell out of him when the Guardians of the Globe had so much trouble fighting him. It's just another way of showing you how much stronger Mark has gotten since the end of Season 2. They hyped this up in the last big trailer too, showing him training like they had developed a super gym for his level of strength. Like a gym for Superman, basically. The way the Viltrumites' bodies work is a little bit different from Kryptonians though. Not all of them are the same strength level. It's why Anissa, for example, came along during Season 2 and thrashed Mark around, even though she didn't look that much more swole than him. There are Viltrumites out there that do look physically way larger, like Conquest, for example. Anissa teased that he's way worse than me and he's gonna come kill all of you. But all their bodies work just like human bodies, bodybuilders, in the sense that they effectively live forever and their bodies slowly stop aging at a certain point, but they can train themselves like bodybuilders to get stronger with time. So imagine how much stronger you could get if you had a healing factor and you live forever, so you could just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger till the end of the heat death of the universe. Right now, based on the progression of the episodes, the way they're teasing stuff, this is actually the schedule of episodes too. It sounds like the Viltrumite War is going to start in the back half of Season 2, and that'll cover most of the back half of the season. Then they'll probably save Conquest for a teaser, like right after the Invincible War is done, and it seems like they've saved the Earth, everything's going to be fine. Boom, Conquest shows up, calls him a worm, and is about to thrash him around again. But even as powerful as Conquest is, the strongest current Viltrumite in the universe is Thragg, the regent of their people back on their home planet Viltrum. But part of the idea is they tease that Mark can become the most powerful Viltrumite eventually, but at the beginning of Season 3, he has a very, very long way to go, but he's still way more powerful than he was in Season 2, so they want to show you his progression season to season. Like by the time we get to Season 4, he'll be more powerful, by the time we get to Season 5, so on and so forth beyond that. He's still a long ways off from being as powerful as Omni-Man, for instance, and Omni-Man isn't quite as powerful as, say, like Thragg. Next big scene is of him in his new blue suit from the comics destroying one of Cecil's new more powerful Reanimen. It seems like he's turned them loose on him again after he's gotten his new suit. There are a couple of fights with the Reanimen that they tease in the last big trailer too. It seems like Mark is fighting his way out of the Global Defense Agency in this hallway too. The whole idea in the last big trailer is the split they tease between Cecil and Mark, where Mark gets super pissed at him and enough is enough. He starts to think that he's using him, doesn't like his methods, thinks that Cecil is a bad person. We'll actually get a little bit of Cecil's backstory this season. I think the last trailer actually had a teaser for how he got the scarring on his face when he was younger. Basically the thing that catalyzed him against a lot of these other alien threats, so that when the Viltrumites like Omni-Man come along, he starts trying to develop all these countermeasures to kill them. But looking at all the footage, you can actually track the timeline of the episodes just based on which suit Mark is wearing, the old yellow one or the new blue one. This also connects with that scene where they show Cecil taking the yellow suit version of Mark earlier in the timeline into the white room at the end of this footage here, with the whole joke, "That's all you got," and then he shows him the Reanimen who then jump him and try to take him down. With the idea that the Reanimen there are to protect Cecil from Mark. Like all the weapons, all the crazy stuff they have in the GDA, all the work that they do is to protect him from Mark if Mark goes evil. Because, like Angstrom Levy teased during Season 2, in every other universe of the multiverse, Mark usually goes evil. In a lot of cases, his mother also joins Omni-Man in him too and also goes evil herself. This will also get into the whole Invincible War situation where Angstrom Levy basically goes around to all these other different universes getting the really evil worst versions of Mark to team up and come to the main universe to try and kill the good version of Mark. Thus the name The Invincible War, which probably go down in the back half of the season. Thankfully, there's not going to be any big break in episodes. One of the other big things they try to get across in the first couple seasons too is the idea that a lot of the stuff that Cecil is doing, developing ways to stop and kill Viltrumites, is because of Omni-Man. When Omni-Man first showed up, he started to do tests to try and find a way to kill Viltrumite cells and could not find it. There are a couple countermeasures that they develop, like for instance the Reanimen here do give Mark a lot of trouble because he's not quite as powerful as Omni-Man, and with each new upgrade, the Reanimen get more and more powerful. The closest thing they have to Viltrumite kryptonite in the series is this inner ear weakness that Cecil eventually develops, eventually figures out. But it's not exactly like kryptonite, but it works kind of that way in the function of the story, where he's basically temporarily disabled. He can't actually help people when he's suffering from this inner ear weakness. One of the other big causes for this huge rift between Cecil and Mark and his family just in general was Oliver coming along too. So already Cecil was worried about Omni-Man, but then Mark was born, his powers manifested, so he's like, there are 2 Viltrumites on the planet now, we need more weapons to try and kill them if we need to. Then everything went down with Omni-Man, he winds up leaving the planet, Mark seemed like he was going to turn good, so Cecil was happy about that, but he was still developing countermeasures for Viltrumites, expecting that someday Omni-Man would come back, other Viltrumites would come back, and maybe Mark would eventually turn against him, so he would need to find a way to stop him too. Then Oliver also comes along, so now there's still 2 Viltrumites on planet Earth, which is why Cecil wanted to keep Oliver at the GDA so much against his mother's wishes, which caused a further rift between them too. Like, there's no way I'm going to let you turn him into a weapon just for you too. This all culminates in the huge actual physical fight between Mark and Cecil, although it mostly goes down between him and the Reanimen here. And it becomes a big reason why he starts wearing the blue suit in the first place. After their big rift, Mark wants to start fresh on his own, so he still wants to be a superhero and save people, but not work with the GDA, like do stuff by himself. And his old suit just physically gets destroyed, so he needs another one anyway, and they use the opportunity to go totally different with the blue and black. It's also meant to be a metaphor for the darker period in his life that's coming up. As the comic storyline gets on, things get crazier and crazier, things get way darker and way worse for all the characters in general, not just for Mark or Omni-Man, because obviously Omni-Man is coming back in a big way this season. But this next scene is actually one of the happier things though, him in the new blue suit teaming up with Adam Eve, who's created special armor for herself, and they're punching someone in unison together. They're actually in the middle of a fight with Mr. Liu here, who's changed into his dragon form. He's kind of like a Fing Fang Foom parody from the Marvel comics. We actually saw him a little bit in previous seasons, just not in his dragon form. They're kind of like the new power couple on Earth. Their relationship starts to actually turn into a thing. They kind of teased that at the end of Season 2, but things were a little too crazy. He had too much PTSD, so they were just kind of slow going. They were slow rolling the development of their actual relationship. My whole expectation, based on the storylines they're teasing in Season 2, is they don't actually really fully get together in a serious way till a little bit later in the season when everything gets really crazy with the Invincible War and then Conquest showing up. Then they play that little joke, clowning on trailers just in general, where Mark walks into the White Room and is like, "Is this it? Is this all you got? Where's more? Where's more footage?" Right before Cecil turns the new Reanimen on him and the big fight starts. Next to Conquest and Battle Beast coming back during Season 3, one of the next real big brand new characters that we haven't seen yet is Powerplex. He's going to be played by Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. He's the person that's shocking Mark here. He's meant to be more of a parody of people like Livewire in the DC universe or say like Electro in the Marvel universe. He'll be a minor antagonist in Season 3 because he lost his sister during Mark's battle with Omni-Man in Chicago during Season 1, and he blames him for that. But Powerplex is a superhero, like he's not a supervillain. Notice when he's shocking him, he's wearing his new blue suit too. So it's a good way of differentiating when stuff happens in the season in the trailer based on which suit Mark is wearing. Without getting into big comic book spoilers or anything like that, Powerplex's storyline is meant to be very, very tragic. But if there's any other Easter eggs that you spotted in the footage that I didn't talk about in the video, write them below in the comments. Really good news too, we're supposed to get that shiny HD version of the Fantastic Four trailer early next week too. Of course I will do all the videos for it. And the really big reminder is that Invincible Season 3 episodes start later next week. My video for that will start posting after they begin releasing the episodes, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that. Everybody click here for that brand new Superman trailer, and click here for all my Invincible Season 3 videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.